All right, let's prove the quadratic formula. In order to prove this formula, we need to start with the standard form of a quadratic formula, which is ax squared plus bx plus c, and it equals 0. So we're going to do this by completing the square. The first thing you got to do is move this value over, because we don't know if this is a perfect square or not. And then remember, we can't complete the square if we have a number in front of our x squared term. So we're going to divide everything by a. And this is where it starts to get a little messy, but don't freak out. Remember, these are just numbers. So now we get to the completing the square part. Remember, we are trying to factor this, and we want two numbers, and they got to add to make the number in the middle, which is b over a. So what we do is we cut this in half. So this gives us b over 2a and b over 2a. And then we multiply those together, so we get b squared over 4a squared. So that's what we have here, b squared over 4a squared. And whatever we add to one side, we got to add to the other. And then remember, this stuff now will factor into a perfect square. And that perfect square are these two things that we just found there. Now when we go to add these up, it's not as easy if we add this versus stuff that's actually a number. So stop and think about what we have. Negative c over a, and we want to add b squared over 4a squared. Now before we can add fractions, we have to have a common denominator. And that common denominator is going to be 4a squared. And that's because I can turn this guy into 4a squared. And in order to do that, I need to multiply top and bottom by 4a. So on the top of this fraction, I end up with negative 4ac. And this one I don't need to do anything with because it has that denominator in there. But then once I've made a common denominator, I can combine negative 4ac plus b squared. And it's all over 4a squared. So that's what this equals down here. Now to solve this, what we have to do is take the square root of both sides. So the square and the square root cross off, and I get x plus b over 2a, and that equals the square root of all of this stuff. And remember, we can split the square root up. I'm going to rearrange this so it looks like the quadratic formula. And I can't do anything with what's on top, so I'm just going to leave it as b squared minus 4ac. But on the bottom, I can simplify this. The square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of a squared is a. And then we have to remember, anytime we take the square root of something, we have two answers. So we have to have the plus or the minus there. And now we got to get x by itself. So I'm going to subtract b over 2a. This crosses off, and we are left with the quadratic formula. X equals, let's put this first, negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And now because both of these things are all over 2a, we get to combine them into one big giant fraction. So we end up with negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and it's all divided by 2 times a. So the quadratic formula is not made up at all. It actually comes from completing the square with the standard form of this. The fractions get a little messy here, but the steps are exactly the same as if we would add, or if we would do something normally with completing the square. So this is your extra credit problem. If you can figure out how to do this on your own, you will get some extra points on your quiz. Hope you have a good night.